watching The Last Word. I'm Sanjana. A young doctor brutalized and murdered. The police send her sister from one station to another saying the case is not under their jurisdiction. Today we find out that the police actually apprehended the accused hours before the rape for driving without a license, but they escaped. Now one would imagine that at a sensitive, upsetting time like this, the Telangana police would spring into action, that they would move swiftly. But what have they done? The police today have released a 14-point advisory. Not to criminals, not to rapists, but to women, to girls, to potential victims. That's not all. In this advisory, they have told women things like, be prepared to dial 100 at all times. Download the app, Hawkeye, and feed in your location. Leave your last location with your friends and family. If something happens, be confident and shout and then run towards people. Do we now as women have to follow these 14 steps and think 10 times before we step out? Is it fair that at a time when the state should be doing everything to protect its women, it is doing everything but that? That's exactly what we're looking at tonight. Let me quickly introduce my panelists joining us this evening. I have Swaranjit Sen, former DGP of Andhra Pradesh, going to be joining us. Tarak Krishnaswamy, social activist. Dr. Ashish Chauhan, activist TRS supporter. Rahul Easwar, author and activist. Mamta Raghuveer, women rights activist. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Mamta, let me come to you first. Be confident. Talk loudly when confronted. Shout if needed. This is explicitly clear. Women are on their own. From the Home Minister's initial comments saying this girl is educated, why didn't she dial 100, to this list of bizarre 14 commandments the Hyderabad police have issued just for women. Where is the advisory for the men?
I'm very sorry to hear this. Actually, as one of the speakers was saying, police have become parents now. I don't think they have to do the parenting now. They have to give unconditional apology now and start repairing their system. It's a hard time now. And I think they should percolate what they are telling, what they have been preaching all these days, boosting of their great initiatives. That should be percolated to the lowest rank of the cop. And they have to be trained, and gender sensitization has to start with them, and they need to be trained on the situations which arise if such emergency situations, how they have to act. And also second thing is most of the people, the CC cameras in the city are not working, and we have to mend them, and also train the other stakeholders as well to act fast, so that every time whenever there is an investigation going on, it has to be completed. We had done research, and out of 7,758 POCSO cases reported in Telangana state from 2013 to till date, only 2,161 cases are pending with, in the under the investigation, and 4,175 cases are pending trial. So we can see that the pendency is under the trial is also very high, and also under the investigation. So the charge sheeting, FIRs are registered very fast, but the charge sheeting is done very late. And umpteen number of reasons are given. Maybe the forensic evidence, the forensic report is delayed or something or the other. But I think this is the hour where we have to react. Maybe a special judicial commission has to be set up with a retired Supreme Court judge, where such cases will be taken immediately, and the justice is given to in those cases. And I also strongly feel that the men should stand up now and identify the black sheep among them, and handhold them to the police. And also maybe the behavior therapy, which has started in a small initiative in Pune. I heard that a small initiative has been started where men who have got this kind of urge to rape are being registered and given behavior therapy. Maybe we can also try that.
Okay. Okay, so
these are the
Rahul Easwar, one of the quotes, one of the advisories is always be ready to dial 100. Download Hawkeye. This is an app. So women should always be ready to have and feed in their location into this app. Is there some justification or merit to these one-sided commandments? Shouldn't this be left to the parents and let the police do a real job instead of lecturing the victims? Why are women being told to give their last location and their every whereabout like criminals?
These are not commandments, these are out of care. Every directive or every proposition, the soul is the intention. Please see the positive, caring intention. And we also believe in the idea of a parent state. See, our state will take care. We are a welfare state. We believe in a Gandhian kind of a welfare state where state has a responsibility to take care. And please see the good intention. It is not chaining, it is not supervising, it is not being a big brother. It is just being a brother for you so that care will be there. And trust me, any police officer, any brother would have given the same tip to a sister. That is the positive brotherly attitude of Telangana police, and it should be there all over India. Please remember, it is not to chain any woman, but it is to give protection and take care. Please remember, security is a serious issue. There are million perverts out there. Yes, we need to hang as many people as possible who have committed a rape. We need value education. We men are at fault. Value education should start with us. Having said all this, when a danger really happens, the woman suffers, her family suffers. So please take precaution to the maximum. That's a possible positive intention and a brotherly, kind, caring attitude of our establishment, state and police. And I believe we should applaud them for showing that care rather than a technical legal advisory. This is Hawkeye is a very good mechanism. 100 is a very good mechanism. Pink police and other facilities are a mechanism. So I would request our females not to see it from a feminist perspective, but rather a family-oriented, caring, respectful brothers care in this. And I believe Commissioner should not be condemned for giving this care and protection for women. Rather, he should be appreciated.
Rahul Easwar, where was the care? Where was the care? Where was the care? Where was the care the next day when this young girl's sister went to the police station and she was made from one station to another, and both the police stations told her that this case is not under their jurisdiction? Where was the care of the same police who should have been in that area? Just let me finish. Who should have been in that area when the accused have gone back to the scene of crime to check if the body had been burnt completely, if that there was no evidence left? And lastly, Mr. Rahul Easwar, I don't think any woman in this country likes to be likened to somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's mother. We are somebody. And that is the exact problem with the narrative that the police is picking up. The request is to do the job as a law and order official, not to take up a parental role.
Two points, ma'am. One, everybody agrees with our outrage, whether we belong to right or left. Your outrage is justified. At the same point of time, please be realistic. Rhetoric is good on camera, on TV, but on ground realities are there. We need to navigate through on ground realities. And please remember, you are an individual. Along with that, it is to invoke care and affection that police and our establishment says it is somebody's mother, it is somebody's sister, it is somebody's wife, it is somebody's daughter. Same as the other gender. So please remember, see the positive intention. This is not patriarchal. This is simply being brotherly.
Okay.
This is simply being
so if it is not patriarchal,
this is simply showing care out of positive intention.
All right. So if it is not patriarchal,
this is care.
Mr. Sen,
please
Mr.
remember,
Sen,
this is care.
Okay, 1 second. Mr. Sen, besides the obvious elephant in the room, which the police seem to have missed out of not providing a simple, straightforward advisory to men. This is only establishing how far from reality the police truly are in the state. Are they imagining that the women already don't do these things?
Well, I'm glad you've asked me this question, but I would like to say that there are a number of parties which are blameworthy in this case, right? Now, I would say police, yes, because there's a terrible trust deficit and the image of corruption, which seems to be still very rampant. It has not changed for so many years. The second, in this particular case, is the Road Transport Organization or RTA authority. You know, if you go out to on the roads at night at this time, you will find so many lorries and trucks which are plying illegally. They don't have tail lights, they don't have number plates, and they are merrily going around. Who is to blame? It is the RTA and police. The third, I would like to place the blame on politicians. They have not been a great inspiration to the society or to anyone, really, that they mean very seriously that the Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao is to be followed. It only seems to be a slogan. And we see from 2012 onwards that perhaps this crime, this brutal crime, has increased. Then the judicial system, which is lackadaisical and lethargic. I'm sure they can expedite all these cases. Fast track has become a farce. Sorry to say, but that is how it is. Now, the most blameworthy is society itself. We need to change, we need to review our culture, our customs, our practices, and our attitudes, because this is what frames up every young man from when he is very, very young. And unless we have a review of how we are exercising all these things and what kind of message we are giving to our young boys, they are going to grow up to be very, very deviant. So that is a fact. And the sooner we realize, it is better for us. We can't go on like this, because all the people, whether you take it from the RTA authority people, or the police, or the politicians, or the judicial system, they all emanate from the same society. From the very beginning, the society has some kind of a, something against the woman child. And that is what grows. So the man thinks that he can get away with anything. Now, about the advisory, I seem to agree largely with Mr. Rahul Easwar. I'll tell you why. Because I have got this advisory under the name of a particular officer who is a very, very good officer. And he has done excellent work, by the way, in women trafficking control and all these kind of things. He's also got a UN award. So he has put out this advisory out of the goodness of his heart. But yes, police needs to do much, much more, especially to bridge that trust deficit which is existing. Who will dial 100? Tell me. Unless they have confidence, they will not dial. And I'm sorry that police has not done enough to instill confidence in the public. It is a very, very important aspect of the police functioning, which all of us seem to be missing. That is a fact, and the earlier the police attends to this, the better it is.
Okay,
but
okay,
but so then the
Mr.
mindset.
Okay,
How is it that the people go to the police and say, no, just one second. I mean, this business of not registering FIR or saying that she may have gone away with a boyfriend, I mean, this is just atrocious kind of remark and response from the police. I think very, very strict. Just suspension is not good enough.
Right. So then, in that case, then shouldn't this advisory have also been addressed? This advisory should have also been addressed to the men. Tara, is there a climate of fear being created in Hyderabad and being further perpetuated by commandments like this, where women are told, sit at home, and if not, give your last location, give your number plate, shout at the top of your voice, be confident, pretend to speak to somebody on the phone. Are we scaring the victims, Tara, and emboldening the rapists and criminals further?
Yeah, it seems that, in the same spirit of brotherly...
I think...
it's okay. You need to wait because, it's my turn. In the spirit of what all the men in the channel are saying, which is, it's well-intentioned advice, brotherly, fatherly advice, let me give some well-intentioned sisterly, let us give some well-intentioned sisterly advice to everyone in the spirit of welfare state and being caring and all that, to say, I think this advisory is, needs to be directed towards two key sources, which are the only ones that can stop rape. Okay, women never ask for rape, so unless the men on the channel seem to think that women want to be raped, since women never ask for rape, there is nothing they do to invite it. Which means that it is happening to them no matter what age they are, what they wear, where they go, and what they do, and when they do. So now, the only way to stop the rape is A, tell the men how to behave. Maybe they can carry a molestation whistle and blow it as soon as they feel like molesting someone. Maybe they shouldn't travel after 8 p.m. Maybe they should share their location all the time so they can get arrested in case they make a mistake. They should call 100 and confess that maybe they feel like molesting and get some help. There's so much. They should stay in well-lit areas surrounded by a lot of people in public places and stop going to isolated places, because if they go there, who knows, they might feel like raping. Maybe this should come out every month so that it, it repeatedly hits on the mental state of mind of various people so that they don't do this. Now, the second set of audience that needs this advisory are the police themselves. So the police need to have a 14-point advisory that says, please, staff, you have about 24% vacancies in Telangana, fill that staff. You have barely 2% women in your police force where you should have 33%. Fill that. You've not done anything. When people come to you for help, don't judge their character. Do your job, which is to help. And most importantly, if these advisories, when you register an FIR, go ahead and prosecute and have it, create a charge sheet as soon as possible. Investigate the crime. Increase the rate of capture. Increase the rate of help. Increase the rate of conviction by providing convincing evidence. This is the advisory that needs to go to themselves, because they are failing on their job. Women are not failing on their job by just getting out on the street, and men are failing on their job by being half-decent human beings in this society. So let's target it at these two. This doesn't mean all men are doing it. Maybe only a very, very small percentage of men are doing it. But even when a small percentage of women get raped, since every woman is expected to share her location, it's very important that all the perpetrators, potential perpetrators, share their location, isn't it? So his well-intentioned advisory needs to go to the right audience. It's entirely directed at the wrong audience. No matter what women do, they cannot stop rape. But men can stop rape. They can stop it. The police can stop rape. They can stop it. So why not issue these advisories and take actions where it should be taken?
Okay, Rahul, go ahead.
I mean, I'm sorry to ask, does the potential rapist who is going to rape, should we give them an advisory to share their location? See, please be realistic. If you simply want to balance between men and women, that's okay. But we are dealing with a very serious issue where some of the statistics say 1 in every 20 minutes a woman is raped or at least molested in India. We are facing an issue of epic proportion where we want solution and not an ideological battle. You can attack patriarchy at will on a different occasion, but this is perversion. Rape is perversion of the highest order, and we need every possible way to deal with it, including law, including awareness, including value education, including self-defense training for women. We have to fight with all our hands and all the resources we have. That's the reason why everyone is saying, Arey, Behan, please take care. It is out of care. It is not fear-mongering, but it is rather what a brother would tell to his sister.
That's the same reason we're also saying it. Because it's a perversion.
Are you telling the rapist to take care? Are you telling the rapist to take care?
No, I don't think she was saying that. I don't think she was saying that.
Are you telling the rapist to take care?
No, I don't think she was saying that. She was saying that the police need to direct.
Rapist is a criminal.
So then why aren't these advisories? Why aren't these advisories also taking something stricter so that they reassure the women who are already feeling unsafe? Dr. Ashish Chauhan, instead of the ministers focusing on what women should and shouldn't do, why is the government becoming accountable and issuing these advisories for victims and potential victims? Why aren't you going ahead and saying men shouldn't rape? If criminals do this, we will put you behind bars. If rapists do this, we will do this. Why aren't you lighting up all the streets so that women are able to stand in well-lit areas?
Sanjana, there's one more thing. People aren't born one morning, they don't start to rape. There are small crimes that they do that repeatedly get ignored.
Yes.
So what these advisories and what these warnings do to men as they grow up, to potential rapists as they grow up, is a warning. Is to say, recognize these instincts in yourself and stop it. Okay, this is a warning that it's not okay to behave like this.
All right. Dr. Chauhan, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the timing. And I would be having, if I get to have a proper say before anybody barges in. Number one, what I see the situation is, yes, there is a friction in dialing this number 100. You know, if you do not have that easy comfort of dialing this number, even if there is something, is there say there is a problem which needs to be addressed and police needs to do their duty, and that is in the hands of that person who is in the trouble, who has to take the initiative of informing. Now, the reason I'm saying it out is, if you check the Western world, every child who is a toddler or 1 or 2 or 3 years old, he's been taught that, you know, any problem, dial 911. We don't have a 10, 20 numbers, only 911. And that's what we need to inculcate in our society, where we teach our teachers, the principal, everybody speaks it out, whatever age. First and foremost, the problem the lady went through, she took enough time to talk to her family members. I really wish if she had just called the first 100.
But that is exactly the problem, Dr. Chauhan.
6, 7 minutes.
Dr. Chauhan, that is exactly the point that we are raising today. And I want Mr. Sen to comment on this, that why women do not feel comfortable calling 100. And I'm sure, because we have raised this enough times ever since this crime has occurred, that all women, even on this panel, I do it personally, where we call a family member at any point if you are feeling unsafe and say, talk to me till I reach my car, talk to me till I reach the railway station, speak to me till I reach the parking lot. None of us feel comfortable dialing 100 because we are not sure whether it will be taken seriously. We are not sure whether there will be something in the timely fashion. Mr. Sen, would you like to weigh in on this? Because there appears to be a serious lack of confidence in the police, in the law and order.
Unfortunately, I cannot disagree with you. I think much more has to be done, and over the ages, 100 has not been the best number to dial. So just like Dr. Ashish is saying about 9/11, we cannot compare our society with the Western society he's quoting. There's too much of a difference. You know, it is a societal change which is required, a mental change, an attitudinal change which is required, and that has to be inculcated at a very, very early stage in life. Otherwise, men folk in India will remain the way they are. I would say the best creation of the Almighty God is the Indian woman. How sacrificing, how intelligent, how well balanced in every respect, how forgiving, and still these things happen. So who is to blame? I tell you, it is only the men folk to blame, and why it is so is because the way they are brought up from the very beginning in society, in their family circles. Unless that changes, unless you address this problem, I'm sorry to say, whatever seminars, whatever women awareness programs you may have people go on talking about, nothing much is going to happen. The other thing is threat of serious action to the police for dereliction of duty and much faster decisions, expediting of cases in the judiciary. It is ridiculous. You call a case a fast-track case, and it goes on for 7 years or so, or much more. How many cases are pending? I tell you, when we were in the district, we used to have a review. That is, the district judge and the district SP would sit down and review all these cases. I don't know whether it's going on, it's happening now or not. Same thing, even at state level, with the High Court Chief Justice as DGP, I used to hold regular review of cases, especially these sensational cases. Is it being done now or not? These are odd procedures which are laid down, and if they are not put in action, then who is to blame? It is all of us. And such a system should be developed at Supreme Court level also. Why should cases be pending there? What is the central government, the law ministry and all doing? Why don't they take up these cases and see that they are fast-tracked, actually fast-tracked and given disposal to? You know, these are all, it can happen. It can happen. Absolutely. Instead of just saying, oh, we've got so many cases pending. Who is going to attend to those pending cases?
And there has to be intent.
It's
There
not
has
the
to be
police,
intent
it's not the
because, you
common
know,
man. It is the judicial system and the law departments.
No, there has
Yeah.
to be intent on all sides, and there also has to be something.
right.
There has to be fairness because, Rahul, you know, one of the advisories was to ask commuters or co-passengers for help in suspicious circumstances. This young doctor was approached by these men pretending to help her. In Noida, a couple of weeks ago, strangers intervened when a woman was getting raped, only to gang rape her. So how can we even assume that women feel safe approaching commuters or people around her as listed in this advisory?
Absolutely, yes. This advisory is not meant to be gospel word, but rather pointing to help. They were mentioning, you know, if you read in context, they were mentioning if you are near a bus stop or if you are near other places when there are more people, if there are women around. See, there are so many conditions. It is only, every caring condition is only to make sure that we are making the India, we are making our place as safe for women as much as possible. And that's the reason why, please remember, it's an issue worldwide. People, leading left-wing economists like Amartya Sen, Noam Chomsky, a very linguist like Noam Chomsky has gone on to say even the US, the UK, the South Africa examples where rape percentage is much more, even though it is not that reported in India. So this is an issue worldwide. There are multiple issues in this. Alcoholism is an issue, and overtly sex culture is an issue. Mainstream media titillating every moment is an issue. So many issues are there. So in between this, we have to take care of our women folk as much as possible from any external assault without compromising on our freedom. See, that freedom part, the dignity part, the individuality part, everyone agrees. But we have to see the reality of the world too. There are monsters and perverts out there who won't listen. These are hardcore criminals and perverts.
But
no
Rahul, what
advisory
makes
will be
you think
able
that
to
women are
chain
not
them
doing
down.
this
We have to
already?
lock them up.
Which is the point that we are raising today, is that the police seem to be extremely detached from reality. Mamta Raghuveer, you're from Hyderabad. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm completely flummoxed by these commandments. I mean, run to the nearest shop, for crying out loud. How practical are any of these guidelines in a city like that, besides, of course, treating victims like a tracking device?
Actually, Telangana police boasts that within 5 minutes they can reach out to any emergency. And also, supposed to be Telangana police is the best in the country because they have started initiatives like she teams and Bharosa centers, and the cops at the top level are the best, and they have received many accolades and awards. Only problem is, I think the inspectors who have to do the investigation or who have to prevent the crime are not acting. That's the problem now we are facing in the police force. And in most of the cases, I think everybody is talking about so many solutions. The thing is, for this problem, we have to understand that we need immediate results. And for that, let us talk about the short-term plans or short-term strategies immediately which can be implemented, instead of talking about changing the attitudes of men and boys later, and that may happen or maybe after years or centuries. Let us talk about the short-term plans and start some action, and the government can itself start some action. The police can start action immediately. We need to address such heinous offences, and that can happen if you have a judicial commission, and also maybe the complete all the cases within the time period, also special bench in high courts, because all these cases we see in Nirbhaya also, the culprits have been given the opportunity to appeal. We should not give the opportunity to appeal in higher courts, which takes a longer period of time, and we have seen that since 7 years they have been put in the jail and being fed. So we have to think of those things, and also all the fast track courts. For your information, there have been 9 fast track courts for POXO cases which have been started in Telangana recently, and none of them have proper infrastructure or
Right. They are
the
understaffed.
human resource.
Correct.
So most of the fast track courts are lacking. So many, even judges are not there in some of the fast track courts.
Okay.
So
So
that is what
one
we
second.
have to
Okay.
act.
So let me also bring in Khaliqur Rahman, senior leader of the TRS, now joining us on the phone line. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Last Word. This list of 14 commandments, this advisory that the police has drawn up so caringly, as some of my panelists put it, for women, do you think it's actually going to help and fight sexual harassment and crimes and violence against women in Telangana?
Yeah, definitely, because this will all work as a precautionary measure, and I'm sure, because for example, even I have a daughter at home, but when she is going out, then definitely, because I give a certain piece of advice to her.
But Mr. Rahman, you do that as a parent. You do that as a parent, right?
No, let me complete. And so especially, the kind of mindset what we are seeing, especially in the country, with such animals and the beasts around. So it is really important for us to take the precautions, and then, we must have the fast track, not just only the courts, but also, these, the culprits must be tried, and within 30 days, the death penalty must be pronounced and they must be hanged to death. Unless and until such fear is created in their mind, this heinous crime is not going to stop. So it is very important that we all have to rise. Whichever party you belong to, that's something different. But
I'm not talking about a split in ideology here. I'm not talking about a split in ideology.
No, as a responsible citizen of the country.
Yes, I understand all of that we must rise together as a society. I'm asking very simply. No.
As a responsible
Mr. Rahman, listen, hear me out. I'm asking you very simply. Your advice that you have provided,
yes,
you are talking about as a parent. I'm asking you as the government. I'm asking you that the police, that they are a law and order agency. As that, don't you think it is imperative then that the criminals and rapists know that there are examples that need to be set, as opposed to telling the women who are already aware of this entire list of guidelines? I assure you, every parent, every mother and father do this with their daughters. We are all very well versed with this. The police should have perhaps sent out an advisory, even for the men, if you're going to send out one for the women. And also perhaps sent out another advisory, for the criminals and the rapists. What is the point of sending out advisories and telling women run to the nearest shop, run to here, shout really loudly?
We have been advocating all this while. Unfortunately, even after the Nirbhaya case, we are seeing that.
Mr. Rahman, do you think that women who are stuck in these kind of situations don't apply all of this? Are you trying to tell me that women don't scream and shout when all of this is happening?
They do apply, but again, being a responsible citizen, and also it is the duty of the police to create awareness and re-emphasize on this.
So why isn't the police creating awareness for the men? When is that going to come? When is the gender sensitization going to come? Why isn't that coming the next day?
Let us not bring in the gender.
Mr. Rahman, the next day, of course it's about gender equality.
Women are becoming
you are taking precautions. Mr. Rahman, hear me out. Don't get rattled. Hear me out. Instead of, one second. Instead of making a gender equality debate, which you have said that you want to, instead of, one second, hear me out. Hear me out. Mr. Rahman, please hear me out. Please hear me out. I'm asking you some very, I believe some logical questions over here.
Absolutely.
If you are sending out an advisory for women, you have to send out an advisory for men as well, is what I'm asking you. Why isn't the government not doing that? Why is the state government not sensitizing the police? The police have obviously done a major botch-up. The police have done a major botch-up. Have they admitted it?
Then, as an anchor of the show, you are misinformed, especially with regard to the initiatives of the government of Telangana.
Okay, so please inform me. Please inform me. I'm clearing that out. Please inform me. I'm happy to hear it out. Please tell me.
Telangana is the safest state when it comes to, especially the safety of the women. And but unfortunately, because this incident has happened about 3-4 days back, and after that, it is in fact the moral duty of not only just the police, but it's the moral duty of every citizen of the country to sensitize, especially the women, because they are becoming the targets here actually. So it is the women who are becoming the target. So naturally, because you are going to address and you are going to sensitize, and as you very rightly said, every mother, every daughter, every sister, they are already aware about this. But still, it is the duty of not only the police, but it's the duty of every citizen, every responsible citizen. So that is the reason. Don't try to take it in a different sense, ma'am. That's my humble request to you.
I don't think I'm doing that. But then obviously if you feel that Telangana is the safest state, then you will also agree that crimes against women in Telangana didn't actually rise by 13% in 2017. They didn't? Am I misinformed about that as well?
No, you're not misinformed about Nirbhaya. I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Telangana. I'm talking about the state of Telangana. Crimes rose in 2017. Am I wrong about that as well?
Which one?
In Telangana, the crimes against women have risen. Last week, on Sunday, a woman was murdered by her partner and raped by the same partner on her birthday. I actually have a list of crimes in Hyderabad and Telangana. So, can we assume that Telangana is the safest state for women? Are you absolutely sure about that?
Listen to me. Immediately after this accident has happened, then within 48 hours the culprits were nabbed, and now we are setting up the fast track court, and the death sentence will have to be passed, especially for these culprits, for these beasts, for these animals, and definitely because any kind of sexual harassment on women in Telangana or anywhere in the country should never be tolerated, and the government of Telangana and especially the police here will never tolerate and has not tolerated also since, especially since the formation of the TRS government here. And this is the first case which has come to the notice of, I don't want to name the victim because it is not advised.
Yes, please don't.
That is the reason. So, but within 48 hours, and you see, because, how swiftly we have, and immediately, and apart from that, we have also suspended those police officers who were approached by the sister.
If you have suspended the police officers and you believe in that, then maybe the gender sensitization should have been up next, and there should have been an advisory out for the men as well, is what I'm asking. I'm not saying that the state is not serious. I'm not saying that. I'm saying why the advisory only for women? Why have you treated women like GPS tracking devices, like criminals, where we have to update our location, where the onus of our safety? Why is the onus? I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming anybody, but I think, the police seem to imagine, that the safety, just a second please, the police seem to imagine that the safety of a woman is her own responsibility, right? Because read the 14, I'll take you through this advisory.
No, it is the responsibility of the state.
Okay.
And also it is, for example, if I'm going on the road, if I'm driving, let us say, if I'm driving at the speed of about 140, then it is, the precautionary measure. We have to take the precautionary.
So then where is the precautionary measure for the men? I'm asking that. You have given 14 points, 14 long points. There are 14 long points. So if I as a woman in Telangana, if I'm a woman in Telangana, before I step out of my house, I have to do the checklist of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 to 14.
Yeah.
Only then am I completely okay to step out of the house. Essentially, that is the advisory that you're putting out, right?
So,
after a case like this,
it is a precautionary advice. It is a precautionary measure, which not only should be followed in Telangana, but I think this should be followed all across the country. I mean, what is wrong in that? You tell me. I mean, if we are, asking our girls, our sisters, our daughters to, take the precautionary measure, then what is wrong in that?
What is wrong with that, Tara? What is wrong with that? That perhaps maybe this advisory should have also come out for the fathers, the brothers, the men, and everybody else on how to behave.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yes. So why isn't the state government okay, Tara? So why?
The gentleman would stop. Yes.
Go ahead,
I can say what I want to say, which is that the real question to ask is when there are increasing crimes against women. It's also a good thing if reporting goes up, which means that more people are willing to come forward and report. And we do know that the majority of the crimes against women actually go unreported for the same reason that, this very crime, what the family experienced, which is they get to run from pillar to post, the victim's character comes into question. The police have absolutely no clue how to do the first interface even between when there is a crime against a woman, between the person reporting it, who may be the victim herself or her family or whoever, her friends. They don't even have that clue. So if you're a government, right, whether you're on the political side, whether you're on the administration side, or whether it's a police force, then, and you're serious about addressing this, you know that there are only 2% women in the police force. What have you done about it in the past few years? Nothing. There are states, the recommendation is 33%. This is where you are. Telangana has 76% police force, 24% vacancies against sanctioned money. Okay, what have they done? Nothing. That hasn't been released to us. Instead of releasing these advisories, if they release saying, I'm sorry, may I finish?
Yeah, no.
We waited patiently till you went on and on and on. Now let me finish.
Yeah.
If you're a criminal and you see the police force releasing data that says our police force is going up, our equipment is going up, our training is going up, 12.9% of Telangana policemen are trained in service. 88% are untrained, which means they have no clue how to react. This is how the public reads it, okay, when we see this data. If you instead release that these are improvements we are making.
Can you know the source of your data, ma'am?
Can you please hold on? This is coming from the police force data from CSDS Lokniti. Please go check it. Okay, it's the latest data. It was released in 2019. Okay, please go check it. The state of policing. Go check it. Okay. Now, if they instead release data that says this is the improvements we are making, we are strengthening the police force, and we are going to take crimes against women very seriously and charge sheet and push for the highest level of punishment, imagine the warning that it serves. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to stop. But it does mean that you're sending out a message of being tough on crime and on the side of women, which you're not doing at all, instead of giving superfluous advice to women. Second, if you look at this advisory, it is very clear it has been put together, well-intentioned as it may be, completely without consulting women at all. If you consult women, they will tell you, you don't want to go to some random shop and tell some random guy, because you don't know if he's going to take advantage of you, and that is the level of trust you have. And it's perfect, because look at what happened when they went to the police station. Why would they dial? What's the point in giving advice that says dial 100 when instead of dialing 100, I physically show up and you now malign my character and make me run from pillar to post? What's the point in saying, how will you take me seriously if I dial 100? You won't take me seriously if I dial 100. And when I'm on the street, all you have to say is, why are you on the street? Go home quickly. As opposed to asking the men who are loitering, smoking and drinking on the street in the night, what business they have on the street.
All right, all right.
Absolutely.
On the street and are driving away the women.
No, but even
Now,
they are not
secondly,
let free. They are not
what is
let
the
free on the road.
Telangana government, the political side, the government done to reassure women that they are tough on crime? What have they done?
Okay, Mr. Rahman, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, definitely.
What is the advisory warning?
Okay, let Mr. Rahman answer that. Let Mr. Rahman answer that. Go ahead.
See, number one, we are very, very seriously committed to the safety and the security of the women. That's point number one. Point number two is, as far as our police is concerned, they are very well trained. And, within 48 hours of this unfortunate incident, the culprits were nabbed. And they were, and then, as for the safety of the women, especially in the IT corridor and the other places, the work places are concerned, then we have, the police has come out with so many applications, which is called the Hawkeye. If you download that Hawkeye, because wherever you are, immediately you get connected to the, nearest police station, nearest patrolling one, so that you are always protected, you are always secure. So this is, and what she said, in fact, Tara, I agree with Tara on one point, that because when her sister and mother approached the police station, because the kind of response those, the 2-3 police cops were there, instead of registering the FIR, they, asked them to go to a different police station. That's the reason immediately our government has suspended them immediately. This itself shows, sends across a very strong message. Even to the police department, not to take anything very lightly. And when it comes to the advisory is, as you said, because even the men are not allowed to loiter here in Telangana, because, there is a strict vigilance on the road. And if any such suspect, immediately he's nabbed and his question is interrogated. And that's the reason today, in fact, you come to Hyderabad, you go to the high-tech city, there are women who are, moving freely, without any fear.
Then why issue these advisories? Why issue these advisories and treat them like criminals and GPS tracking devices?
No. This is
why are you doing that then?
Following this incident.
Mr. Sen, okay.
We want to react
Mr. Sen,
we want to react.
Okay, Mr. Rahman is essentially saying that the government has actually sent out a strong message by acting quickly and moving swiftly. Mr. Sen, Mr. Rahman over there saying that the accused were arrested within 48 hours. Of course, not mentioning, or I would also like to tell my viewers that this is after the victim's sister actually went to the police station. She was shuttling between 2 police stations who kept telling her that it is out of their jurisdiction. In fact, today it has come to light that the accused were even apprehended by the police, but they have managed to hoodwink the police and leave hours before the rape actually was committed. So it is a failure even on the front of even nabbing petty crime that actually could have prevented bigger things like this. So, Mr. Sen, is it fair in saying that this advisory now is actually, kind of showing the government's seriousness and commitment to women's safety in the country or in the state? Can we say that?
Well, I can only say that it has been issued by a very well-intentioning officer. But there are a couple of things also I would like to comment upon. Number one, Ms. Tara is absolutely wrong in saying police is not trained and only 12.5% are trained. Every police officer, man, is trained. What she's talking about is perhaps refresher courses, right? The second thing is, we have not bothered to comment on the background of the perpetrators. The perpetrators come from a very low background. And do you think any kind of gender sensitization is going to work on these people? No, it is only the police danda. And that is where police responsibility increases. There are areas which are clearly police knows about where such people hang out. And those are the areas which we need to concentrate upon, and probably a better intelligence system will tell us where these criminals are gathering. So that's another important point. But all this comes, I come back to the same point. We have to change our culture, our customs, our attitudes, and our practices right from the childhood upwards to create gender sensitization. Otherwise, it is not going to work out. We can have any number of advisories. Well, Ms. Tara made a very good point. There could be an advisory for all fellows who are loitering aimlessly, that police will come down with a heavy hand, arrest them and take them away. That will be certainly a deterrent. But more than that, it is the societal change which has to be brought about. Unless that happens, I don't think we are going to achieve too much. And certainly the police, why is the police image the way it is? I think for two reasons. Number one, corruption. I can tell you how it all happens, but I am not going to share it on TV. I've seen it myself, And what happens is that all these now, for instance, in this particular case, the driver and all had no fear because probably they've already paid up the police, the mamuls and things like that. So, there is a lot to be done on the police side.
And they managed to hoodwink the police even earlier in the day. They managed to hoodwink the police as well.
And raise their own level of respect.
Okay, Rahul, one second.
Imagine,
Rahul,
that is too bad.
Okay.
That is just too bad.
Okay.
Just one submission.
Just a second, Rahul, I'll come to you. I want to go to Mamta,
just
but
one
Rahul,
submission.
I want you to, just make your point really quickly because I'm running out of time. I want to bring in a quick word with Mamta as well. Rahul, go ahead.
Please remember the effect. Please remember the effect. Please remember the effect of alcoholism, drug abuse and all in this, because this is a multi-dimensional and holistic solution we need. And please remember the backward classes even in the schools. Every class in the schools, in our colleges should be gender sensitization, value education, and it's a deeper problem. That's the reason why we should start with men. Value education, self-defense for women, gender sensitization in schools, so that it can reach out to every person in the society.
Okay, so taken, point taken. But
Mamta, you have to touch on every
Mamta Raghuveer, as a woman today in Hyderabad, are you reassured by this advisory, or are you just feeling that it was unnecessary? These are already things that I'm doing. The police should have actually, helped and, reassured me further by saying that, look, we have this advisory for men as well. Men should behave like this. We're going to gender sensitize the men in our police force. Or are you feeling happy with this advisory today as a woman in Hyderabad?
No. This advisory is not necessary now because already women are following that. Maybe we need to give such advisories to the men around. We have to start talking to men. It's a high time now.
Right.
And the second thing is, recently I wanted to add one information, is recently about more than 2,200 liquor shops were allocated in the state, and they have collected more than 900 crore excise money. I think liquor shops and all these outlets everywhere and pawn sites, I think we cannot achieve anything out of all this.
All right,
So
okay.
we have to work on those things. And why can't the entire nation have a special force for investigating women-related and child-related cases?
Okay.
Why can't we suggest that?
Okay,
We should
I'm
have a
completely
special
out of
force
time.
to help
I'm
us.
completely out of time. So this is what we've gathered today from these commandments. Familiarize yourself with an unknown route while traveling. Shout and run towards a crowded area if the situation is helpless. These are two of the many commandments issued for the women in distress in Telangana. Mind you, this advisory does not mention men at all. It doesn't tell men not to rape. It doesn't warn criminals that they will be held accountable for their actions. It doesn't tell rapists that they won't get away with what they've done. What they have done is written guidelines for women who are already scared, who perhaps already take all these guidelines without the police even telling them already, and very seriously. So instead of treating such cases with kid gloves, maybe let's everyone, especially the Telangana police, start doing their real jobs, including law and order. Thank you so much to my panel for joining us this evening, and thank you to my viewers for watching The Last Word.